I gotta say, I mean, this ranks up there with, um, I gotta say, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, and honestly, I think that this probably succeeds those. Just because people don't realize that we came this close from a massacre there. Had the Capitol Police, and then Secret Service, whose details are the succession of power, such as the Speaker and the Vice President, President pro tempore. Had they not been able to get those people out, there's no reason for me to think that you've got an angry mob of people who wants their pound of flesh, and they don't really care. Well, he's one of ours or she's one of ours. They're just trying to be judge, jury, and executioner. You find people apparently who had pipe bombs and automatic weapons and Molotov cocktails. I mean, just a bunch of craziness. So, where do we go from here? That is the, dare I say, $1 million question. It There's plenty of chatter out there, about another attack on the 17th on like Inauguration Day. Definitely a big, failure preparedness. This just can't happen again. I read a couple days ago, a bunch of insurrectionists showed up at the Kentucky State Capitol, and so this thing has gotten completely out of control. Where do we go from here? This is what happens when you elect a person who's a liar, a racist, a bigot, and he coddles to these groups. He makes it acceptable for them to come out the woodwork and spew on the hate of anti-Semitism, xenophobia, sexism, and everything else. He's given them a platform. And so when I look back at the election of Donald Trump in 2016, and I gotta say, Hillary warned us about this guy. I look back at that election, and a few things come to mind. You had people in the Republican Party who thought that they could control this guy. Say, okay, we've got one of our guys in here. We've got all three branches of the government. We're going to be able to get our Supreme Court picks through. Everything else is going to be great. Okay. I know a lot of people, back then, they were like, well, I'm voting my conscience. And then they voted for this guy again in 2016. Same thing. Well, I'm voting my conscience. I'm going to say on that, because I've heard that so many times, people say, well, I voted my conscience, which was basically their way of saying, well, I voted for this guy because he's in my political party. Pinocchio has a better conscience than you do. And his conscience was a goddamn cricket. When I look back at this and I think more and more about it, you've got people who, they knew what this guy was. They knew what he was about. And they were either for that, one, or two, they were okay with turning a blind eye to it. The racism, the xenophobia, just all the filth that this guy has injected into our society. And the fact that people were okay with that over a Supreme Court pick, or because your taxes went down, or you think that your taxes were going to go down, or whatever, or I like the way that he talks. He speaks his mind, which tells me that you are on par, you're online, with this type of thinking. And it's disgraceful. As an American, I'm embarrassed and disgraced. And as a black man, it just befuddles me when we march, for equal treatment. So if you're going to give us heavy-handed tactics, you got to give everybody else heavy-handed tactics when it comes to protesting and marching.